I had to stop it because I gotta name this. So I don't know this video. I'm gonna ask him. So, it really doesn't make sense for me to go on. I tell you. So, let me see. I'll go another route with it. Yes. I've been in a relationship with guys. I think the relationship that you hear a lot of is the one with my husband. But he was the first one I had a relationship with. Let me think. No. I had a relationship with a young man named Maurice. And a young man named Cedric. Cedric was Jamaican. He was in my night school class. I had to go to night school because in order for me to graduate that coming year, because I wasn't going to graduate, no, that coming year, because I was able to graduate, but I would not have gotten my diploma because I didn't have enough credits. So I had to go to night school, and if I went to night school and build up my credits to where it needed to be, then I would have been able to graduate on time. Well, I'm not going to even say it was on time. No, it wasn't on time. I was a late graduate, right? And I'm going to tell you a little story behind that now that because I went all the way to the 12th grade, but I didn't graduate. So I guess when you go to fill out for a job, they ask you the last grade you completed, and that would have been the 11th. But I actually completed the 12th. I just didn't graduate. So in other interviews, they'll be like, so you completed it, but you didn't get your diploma. No. So now, let me explain that. I did not get my diploma. I guess it's crazy because some people may say, you went all the way to the 12th grade and didn't get your diploma. It wasn't my intentions. The little story with the Cedric and the Maurice guy in night school. I went to night school, and I'm here to tell you that I wasn't easily to pick up. I'm very quick to fall in love. I think maybe now. No, I'm still quick to fall in love, so age ain't got nothing to do with it. Time has not changed that part of me. I still will fall in love quickly if it was to come my way. So I went to night school, and the Cedric guy, he came every single day, but he was just so loud. Not knowing that his loudness was to get my attention. I tell you, people go all over the world and on top of the building and all this type of stuff to get my attention. And I guess that's because I show uninterested. I have the how can I say, like, I'm uninterested in you. And I could really care about you and really love you. But you would think I don't because of the way I carry myself. Right? And I guard my feelings very well and the reason why I guard them very well is because I love hard. I love truthful. I don't play around. I don't joke around when it comes to love. I don't cheat. I don't look at other men. I don't text other men. I don't think about other men. Because of the simple fact, if I'm with you, I'm with you. Don't accuse me of being with nobody. Your job is to know me when you get involved with me and know that Sharon is not going to mess with nobody. Or Sharon is not going to mess with nobody. I got her to the fullest. She belongs to me. And that's it. Go live your life. Go do what you got to do. You see what I'm saying? Because you know Sharon got your back. Sharon love you. But here's the thing. Sharon can't give you all the love. And you ain't giving Sharon none back. If you sift me like wheat. If you taking all my energy and all of my strength and learning a whole lot from me, but you want to allow me to learn from you, you want to allow me to love you, or should I say you want to allow yourself to love me, but you will accept all the love I got for you because of the simple fact you know it's genuine, you know it's for real, you know Sharon is at home like you, while you walk in the streets, while you on telephones with other people, while you taking care of businesses, while you on your job 24/7, 365 days a year, Sharon is still in that house. Got herself confined to the house. No, let me not go out because somebody may come by and I don't be there. And then if I'm not there, then they're gone and I ain't going to see them no more. You know what I'm saying? So he went to extremes to get my attention. Half the time when I would come, the room was always crowded. So even back in school days, I was late. And when I would get there, the class done start very seldom. We had to go to school every night, so maybe 3 nights out of the 2 nights, the 5 nights, I was late. And every time I would get there, oh my goodness. Y'all just had some rice and some broccoli. Let me put my plate over there. My phone is all into. My phone is all into this. Let me see. So, when I would get there, the class done started, the teacher in the middle of teaching, and I don't know, I guess everybody needed to take that class in order to graduate, because that class was crowded. So every time I got in there, all the seats was taken, and the guy named Maurice would always be there. So I would always tell that he had to get there early enough because he always got the same seat. And there was a couple of times I got the seat in front of him. And Cedric was on the other side. And there would be empty seats by him. And when I would walk in, he'd be like, hey, there's a seat over here. Everybody would be like, Cedric, she don't want to sit next to you. You're too loud. Right? So, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking, there was like maybe a little bit of competition between them, because the females would say, she don't want to sit by you. And then the guy, Maurice, would be like, here's a seat right here. One time, maybe once or twice in my memory, it could have been more or less, I got to sit right next to him. And when I got to sit right next to him, this particular day, he took my notebook or something, and he wrote his name and he wrote his number. Now, mind you, I was already clocking him. He was, come to think about it, he was tall. He was taller than me, because at that time I was 5'1". I'm 5'2" now. I don't know how I gained an inch, but he was tall. He was light-skinned. He was kind of stocky, not fat, but he was built. It was more so like built, so not stocky. He was built. And, you know, he had this towering, what is it? Demeanor, this towering statue, you know? That when he would walk in the room, he brought a presence with him, right? And I think that's probably what drew me to him. But anyway, making a long story short. So now, every time I would come, he would be there. And, you know, sometimes the seat would be taken next to him, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes the seat be taken in front of him, sometimes it wouldn't. He didn't actually, if I remember right, he didn't actually too much save the seat for me. But if I happen to come in and the seat was there, he would indicate, even though Cedric would be like, you can sit over here. He'd be like, here's a seat right here. But it's up to you. You can sit where, I mean, he had the sweetest voice. He had the lowest and humblest demeanor and everything, right? So, okay. So now all of a sudden, I wasn't seeing him no more. Now, mind you, I got to know him. I went to his house. He gave me presents. And I want y'all to understand, he gave me presents without doing a thing with me because the presence of the Lord was on me. But what I mean is that the churchy side of me was so strong, you know, that I gained a lot of respect from guys. And I think maybe that's the reason why a lot of the guys did not talk to me, because of the church part of me, right? Because I'm living with my grandmother while I'm going to this night school. So I am walking around with, church clothes on, you know, down to the floor dragging. So he wasn't coming. You know what? I'm so sick. This table is so uneven. Okay, let's put it that way. Okay, so trying to not to waste my food. So I went every single day, everything, right? So after a while, I started noticing that he wasn't coming. And so I'd be like, what's going on? You know, I would call, I wouldn't get no answer. And I didn't never too much go to a guy's house. That wasn't my thing. You see what I'm saying? The guy I always had in my head, and maybe it was the way I was raised, but my grandmother never told me a guy is supposed to come visit you. But she did throw out there little hints that, you know, guys are supposed to pursue you, Sharon. You don't pursue no guy. You know? You know, because a little bit she probably thought I was out there trying to find a guy. And so she would, you know, give little hints out. You know, no, you wait for the Lord to give you a man, Sharon, a husband, whatever. Don't be out there trying to look for no. And I'll be like, Mommy, I ain't looking for nobody. I don't want nobody. She said, all right, I'm just telling you because that's my job. I said, okay. Oh, this is coming. Here we go. I think it's a stupid thing that is on. It's just don't want to be right. Okay. All right. So now we go. He's not coming. I'm like, what is happening here? Where did this guy go? Did I lose my little, well, we gonna leave it, my little thing going. So I decided this particular day that I was gonna go to his house. So I didn't go to school. No, I didn't go to school. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to night school. Right? This particular day. School start like 8, I think 8:15 for high schoolers, and you get out like 1:20. So there was a park across the street. It didn't have too much stuff in it. It was real open park with a fence. But there was a place, the craziest thing, there was a place to sit. So I went there and I stayed all day waiting for him. About 7, 8 o'clock, close to 9 o'clock, I saw his statue, right? He lived in a nice building, a managed building, everything, right? So he said, when I saw him, I was so nervous. But that was one time I went on in my nervousness. Love took over. That was my crush. He was a crush to me, you know. So a crush, I guess, eventually leaves because, I wouldn't feel no way about him now if I was to meet him. But who knows? Maybe it's a possibility something would have lit up. Something would lit up, because after all, I did feel for him and he did feel for me. Okay, so I made my way across the street, made my way across the street, walking. I can't remember where he went, but he lived in Manhattan, East Side Manhattan. So he happened to turn around and he saw me and he was like, so he walked over to me and he kind of pulled me over into like a little corner of the building. He said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I was worried. I didn't see you. You haven't come for five weeks or something." I said, "So I was worried." He said, "Well, just to let you know," he said, "I'm not coming back there no more." I said, "But what about your schooling?" He said, "Nah." He said, "I got too much stuff to take care of." He said, "But you shouldn't have came here." So that was my first introduction to baby drama, baby mama drama. Because he said, "I got a baby mama, and if she see you, she is going to go crazy. And you was too good for that. You was too nice for that. And I'm not going to put you in the middle of that." He said, "So please leave." He's saying, "I'll call you later." I never heard anything else from him. Because there was something in his voice that let me know that I never was going to hear from him. And something in the words he said, when he said, "I won't be coming back to school because there's a lot of things that I have to take care of. There's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of drama beginning. And I'm not for it." So he was like, "Just go home." He said, "Don't worry about me. I'm going to be all right." He was so nice, though. He was so nice. He said, "Don't worry about me. I'm going to be all right. You just go ahead and you just go home." I think he sent me home in a cab because he couldn't believe I stayed out. He said, "How long was you out here?" I said, "Since this morning." He said, "You didn't go to school?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, Sharon, no." He said, "That is so sweet of you to want to not stop your whole day because you worry." He said, "That is so sweet." But anyway, okay. So that was Maurice. He, I'm trying to think. I think he may have walked me to the train station. Yes. He walked me, he said, "Come on, Amor." So he didn't send me home, he sent me to the train. So I think he wanted to send me home in a cab, but I was like, "No, don't send me home in a cab," because, I just felt like God was watching me. And my grandmother would have saw too. So I was like, she would have been asking me, "What you doing, get out of the cab?" So I was like, "No, I'll just take the train." He said, "All right, he said, "Come on, I'm walking to the train." So he walked me to the train, inside the train. He went up in the station with me, paid my fare, gave me some money. And I want y'all to understand, it was no nitty gritty, nucky ducky, or nothing going on. That's how much he respected me. He didn't do anything with me. He didn't expect anything to happen with me. He wasn't looking for nothing from me. And I wasn't looking for nothing from him. I just wanted his presence. I wanted his hugs. I wanted his kisses. I wanted his words of wisdom, his words of encouragement, his words of love. We would just lie. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, because I wasn't married. I was a teenager then, so I can be truthful with y'all. So we just lied in the bed. That's all. He had his own room. That was the first time I was introduced to cable. I ain't know nothing about no. Y'all remember HBO? Y'all remember HBO? Well, that's when I learned about HBO. It was a box that sit on top of your TV, your little skinny little 13-inch TV. So that's what he had. He had HBO, and we was sitting there. He was like, "What you want to watch?" And everything was black and white back then. He said, what you want to watch? And we just sat there. We watched TV, went to sleep. Not this day, but this is one of the days. Because I went to his house maybe about 2 or 3 times out of our relationship. Not that often. And that probably was why. So anyway, so he walked me to the train station, went over to the train station. He paid my fare. He waited with me for the train. I just felt my whole heart was leaving because I knew I wasn't going to never see him no more. So I had to still go to school, to this night school. So I went to night school these couple of days, and all these days I kept looking for him. He never showed up, even though I knew that he wasn't coming, but I was just hoping that he would, that womanly feeling. You just hope a guy just want to see you enough that he'll climb the highest mountain. No more of those exist. So he never told us. So now I'm going to school every day in Cedric. So now it's so crazy. I walks in the classroom. The only seat that's available is the one next to him. And he knows it. Hey, come over here. There's a seat over here. Everybody's like, oh my goodness. He's going to talk your head off. He's going to do this. Oh my God. He's so loud. Da, da, da. So I sat down next to him, ain't thinking nothing, because my mind was on Maurice. I wasn't thinking nothing about no Mrs. Edric. I didn't even know he was a foreigner because he hardly talked. He made jokes. He was very jokey, I found out later on that he was doing all that to impress me, to get me to take the little bit of time to look at him and laugh at his jokes. But I would just look at him and be like, in my head, I'm saying, won't you shut up? Them the one you fall hard for. Because they already care for you. They already love you. So if they get you to love them, you got a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I sat down next to him, and, I had this old fantasy that he was going to do like Maurice did. He was going to take my back. And like his name is never. No, he want to be talking to me. So, what's your name? Sharon. What's yours? Cedric. So I was like, Cedric. I knew nothing about Cedric the Entertainer at the time, because that probably would have been a joke to me for me to use on him. I didn't watch TV. I didn't know nothing about those TV shows. So I was like, Cedric, okay, that's a nice name. So we there and talking, and the teacher's like, Cedric, let the girl work, because you don't want to work. But he really was smart. He really knew his stuff. I don't know, I guess because I was sitting next to him and he got me sitting next to him. He want to answer all the questions. He want to ask all the questions. Teachers be like, okay, so I know. All right, Mr. Cedric, you really enthused. So everybody had already caught on. You know me, I'm slow. Everybody had caught on that he liked me. And he must have liked me long ago. Maybe it was something that he told the teacher, whatever. Because the teacher, he threw out there, oh, so you out here to impress Sharon, Miss Wilson. That's what so you out here trying to impress Miss Wilson because she finally sit next to you after all these months. And he was light-skinned. And that was the first time I saw a guy blush. His whole cheek got red. And I was like, the girl's like, ooh, look at Cedric. He blushing. And he put his head down, and I'm looking at him like, really? I don't know, he's mad, but he ain't thinking nothing about it. You over here blushing? Okay. I'm feeling kind of flattered. I ain't gonna lie, yo. No, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have you wanna make me be like that? I'm gonna take it. Okay, so anyway. So that day, when I'm gonna say when the service was over, Lord Jesus, you see where I'm going or where I went. When the class was over, everybody's leaving, and I'm getting my books together. He says to me, he said, can I walk you to the train station? He was like a quiet He like totally did a 380 degree. Forget the 60. So I was like, all right. He said, I'll take the train too. He said, but I want to walk with you because I'll take it somewhere else. Right? I said, okay. So we walked to the train. While we were walking, we talking, and we actually hit it off together. It was crazy. It was crazy how we actually, I mean, we talked with each other, you know, we had good conversation. He was funny. He would make me laugh in the class, especially when he would come late and he have making all these noise. He'd be like, I'm here, you guys. He'd say some joke or something. But I never knew he was a West Indian. I never knew he was good. I never really had a conversation with him. It was a short-term conversation. So we walk into the train and stuff, right? And so he said, can I meet you at the train tomorrow morning? I mean, tomorrow afternoon, what time? Da, 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 yeah. So I was like, how you want to meet me at the train? He said, where you catch the train at? So I told him, I caught the train at Grand Street. I walked from Mommy. It's so crazy. I walk from Mommy house and I go down to Grand Street. Grand and some street, I would catch it and I would get it. Because I think we would get off like at 14th Street or something and walk. Because I think we went to John Adams or something, one of them schools. Or 14th Street we could get off. But I told him I'd get on that Grand, and I think he got on that Whitecroft, so he got on ahead of me, right? Because Grand Street is like maybe the first or the last stop in Brooklyn, and then you go to whatever 6th Avenue and stuff like that. He said, all right. He said, I get on before you, so I'm going to be, because I got off before him. So since you get on before me, he said, I'm going to be in the same car. This is where I'll be at. So make sure you get in the car in front of the gate. He said, I'll be in there. And we met every single day going to school. He walked me home. I mean, he walked me to the train station. He never really came home with me. I'm trying to think if he was a gentleman and took me home. No. We stayed on the train. You know, I wasn't expecting that because I was like, you better not take me home. My grandmother be down bop you upside your head. Think about it. Chevy, who this guy? Oh, so you be hanging out. I would never gave Mommy no reasons to think that I was out there doing nothing. But one thing, I respected her salvation. And I didn't want to taint it, and I didn't want nobody to talk about her. So I did the right thing. So okay, so now we going every day, we going da 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 da. So one day when we were going to school, he says to me, he said, I would like for you to come and visit me. So I'm like, visit you? I said, you got your own place? He said, no, my mother and pops work. No, he didn't say his mother. He said he lived with his aunt. He said, and she be going all day or something like that, maybe in the daytime. He said, so what we can do, we can meet up before school, and you hang out with me, and we go to school together. So we did that a few times. And then this particular time I went to his house. You know, I'll be honest with you guys. And we did our little do, and I knew right then and there that I was about to be conceived. I was about to have a child. I felt it. I don't know why it was so strong like that with me, or maybe because it was the first time me ever getting pregnant, and I guess I felt it. I don't know, but I felt it. And after we finished, we went and did our little shower and stuff like that, and he let out and got himself together. And he's like, okay, let's get... He was... Let me see, how can I explain it? He wasn't the type of man to be so silly over a woman. He was the type of man that loved his woman and was going to take care of his woman. And he had to take care of his business and do his job and do what had to be done so that he could take care of his woman. That's how he was. You know how you get some of these guys that is so into the woman that all they do is just stay in the bed, don't want to do nothing, and, you know, 24/7 want to know what the girl is doing. Now, understand me. I don't mind my man calling me 24/7, asking me what I'm doing. I don't mind. I don't mind. Maybe at this age. Maybe at that age, I wouldn't have liked it. But he wasn't like that. He spent time with me. When we would leave the school, it would get so we didn't come home. Because when we first met, when the class was over, we'll walk to the train and we get in the train. But it was getting so that our conversations was getting good. And when I say good, I don't mean no nasty juiciness or nasty good. I mean, we was coming to that place that we didn't want to part from one another except for when we had to, and that was to go home. We was kind of drawing on each other. We was laughing. We was holding our hand and holding each other's hands. And this is like, I could say prior to me going to his house, getting in his bed, right? Now, once I got pregnant, I don't think I ever told y'all this story. Once I got pregnant, I played it. I like played it. How can I say? Playing with him in a way of saying, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell him I'm pregnant just to see what he gonna do." I was 17. I was supposed to graduate, so I would have graduated at 17 years of age. I said, I'm gonna tell him I'm pregnant. So this is the next day after we slept together. So mind you, he didn't disappear from me. I think, I'm trying to think if I was sneaking use the phone, because I didn't give, no, I didn't give my grandmother number. I didn't give him my grandmother's number. So that was our meeting time. So we had established it so well that we knew what time to leave the house. We knew what train to take, And I was familiar with the train anyway, because it was the train that I had to take to go to school anyway. Okay? So, this particular night, we were on our way to school, and I whispered in his ear. I said, what would you say if I was pregnant? He jumped back and looked at me. He said, what? He said, you sure? I said, yeah. He said, well, he whispered in my ear. He said, well, I would take care of you and the baby. So I looked at him, surprised. You know, I'm 17. I don't know what that consists of. I'm having a little game here because I'm saying to myself, Lord Jesus, I hope I ain't pregnant. I'm over here predicting stuff. And that's when I should have learned that my words that I say come to pass. They're anointed words. Because why did it come to pass and I really was pregnant? Anyway. So, he let me know. He said, this is what I would do. He said, if you want to get rid of it, I wouldn't want you to. He said, but if you want to, he said, because I don't know how your religion is. You know, religion is not into that. He said, but if that's what you want to do, he said, I'll give you the money. He said, and I'll come with you to do it. He said, I'm not going to leave you out there. He said, and he held my hand. This is us walking now. We off the train because the joke started on the train. Now we off the train. We walking. He got my hand in his arm and stuff like that. And he's like, He said, no, you going to be mine. He said, you get pregnant, I'm going to take care of the baby. I'm going to take care of you. Even if you're not pregnant, I'm going to take care of you. He said, I want us to be together for a long time. I want us to be together forever. And I was only 17. What forever he talking about? But I was feeling it. I was like, okay, I am 17. Y'all go, nothing. No. As people would say, you got your whole life ahead of you. So I had my whole life ahead of me. He was 21. Yeah, he was older than me. He was 21. So he was saying he was only taking the course just to do. He said, back home, That's when I was really hearing his accent. When we really got to talking, I would hear. Right? But I never would ask him. No, I think he did say he was from Jamaica, but what do I know about Jamaica? I know nothing about it. You know, I probably didn't even know it was a Caribbean state. That's how naive I was. But anyway, so he was like, back home. He said, me don't got what me got much degrees back home. Me can get along well. He said me can get a. He lived with his uncle. I mean, he lived with his aunt. They had a nice house. They lived in not a house, but they live in a brownstone. Nice. The apartment was nice. The building was nice. I mean, you could tell the boy had money. Excuse me. He said, money is in my family. He said, so you wouldn't have to worry about nothing, Sharon. He said, I would take care of you. You would have everything you need, you want, you know. Whatever it was, whatever you want, whatever that baby want, you ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm going to take care of you. That was the plans. And I was like, I mean, even though I didn't know I was pregnant then, but I was like saying to myself, oh, wow, I get pregnant by him. I ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. Pisces live in a rose-colored world anyway. So I was already in the top of the world. I was already floating through the air, right? So now, a couple of times we go to school. Now he don't show up. But I didn't do what I did with Maurice. I didn't go to his house. Because he missed like 2 days and then he came the third day. And our meeting place where we would meet on the train and walk to school together, he wasn't there those 3 times. And I was like, oh my goodness, here we go. Here we go. What is happening? What is happening? And I think I found out I were pregnant, I think. I don't know how I found out, but I guess I started getting a little big or something like that. So now, he don't show up. So let's say the 4th night he shows up to the school. He don't show up in the on the train or nothing. He shows up in the class. And upon being in the class, he says to me, you know, it's kind of awkward now because I ain't seen him for like 3 weeks. Was it 3 weeks? I'm saying 3 weeks. Or was it 3 days? Nah, probably was a week. I'll give him a week. So when he comes back that Monday, or that Tuesday, one of them, and then we go to our little private spot, and it's like a restaurant. He always would buy me something. We sit there and talk and eat and laugh. So he says to me, he said, I got to tell you something. Like, why you ain't see me? I said, you okay? He said, yeah, me fine. He said, but me have to leave. I said, you have to leave? You got to leave to go where? He said, me got to go to Jamaica. Now, mind you, I wasn't thinking about no Jamaica. I was thinking he had to leave to go to another borough or something. And I still going to say, he said Jamaica. I was like, Jamaica? You mean Jamaica, West Indies? He said, yeah, I got to go. He said, my father has a business there. And he wants me to come and help him with the business. He needs some help, and I have to get him. I don't know. I think his father wasn't feeling well or something. So, yeah, he's not so much going to take the business from the father, but it's just that being that he's next inheritance. That's how the West Indies are, next inheritance. So he had to go there and blah, 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 blah. So I said, okay. He said, I know you're pregnant. He said, everything's going to be taken care of. And I would like for you to come with me. Exactly. That's how I was. Let me make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say you want me to come with you? I mean, I was flattered. I was feeling good. 17-year-old. I was like, what? You want me to go with? Ooh, Jamaica. I mean, not the thought of Jamaica today. Because Jamaica today is, oh my goodness, you got beaches and you got this and that. And at the Caribbean, these are the things you think about Jamaica today. Back then, I ain't had no picture. Just a little colorful thing on a map that you learn in school. So I was like, Jamaica. He said, yeah. He said, but you don't have to worry about nothing. He said, I'm going to take care of the child. You'll be all right. You'll probably give birth out there. He said, my parents meet their grandchild. And, as soon as the baby's born, we'll be out there for a little bit. And then we can come back up here and we can get a house and stuff like that. I don't know whether it was pipe dreams. Probably was, but I don't know. I ain't know nothing about no pipe dreams then. I'm telling you, I was a naive young girl back then. That's why people could get over and tell me anything. And I was quick to be a people pleaser because I didn't know nothing. I was raised up in a sheltered home. And I don't regret it at all because that shelterness helped me to know about life, kept me out of the different things I would have been caught up in, Alrighty. Oh. Okay. So, let's go on. Here we go again. Okay, so now, once he told me that, I was like, well, he said, would you like to come with me? So I was like, yeah, I guess so. I said, but you have to talk to my grandmother. He said, I know. He said, I know. I got to talk to her. He said, no problem. I'll talk to her, whatever. He said, you want me to come to your house? Something like that. I said, no, don't come to my house. See, I wouldn't even let no guys come to my grandmother's house. The way these kids say bring their boyfriends to your house and stuff like that. And I cared for him, but apparently I must have wasn't in love with him because then I would have brought him to the house. So by now, Grandma know I'm pregnant. And she's telling me I am. And I'm saying to myself, stupid Sharon, you don't predict this on yourself. And now you got it. Now what you going to do with it? So Grandma started asking me all these different questions about, I ain't getting no pads, what's going on. She was on it. She knew the only way I could get any kind of feminine products was through her. And here I am going for I don't know how many months, and 3 months to be exact, and I ain't asking for nothing. So yeah, about 3 months, he's still there. So I guess it's actually showing. I guess if you really look, but I carried small. Or should I say I would have carried small if I'd have carried the child. So now, I tell Mommy. She said, so, who is the father? So I told her, I said, he's a Jamaican guy. She said, a Jamaican guy? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, so where you met him at? I said, I met him in school. So she couldn't really, so this is how good of a child I was. She couldn't really say, and she could not understand. No, she couldn't really say this happened to me because I was running the street, because I didn't. Because I was home on time. I left, went to school, and came back home. So she had to ask me, she said, so Sharon, how did this happen? So I told her, I said, we didn't go to school one day. I mean, I didn't go to school, day school. But I went to night schools. So she was like, so this is a guy from night school? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, all right. She said, so how is he? I don't know. I guess she trusts my judgment as well. She said, how is he? I said, well, he seemed to be nice, Mommy. What's his name? Cedric. She said, Cedric. She said, that sounds like a businessman name. I said, yeah. He said his father has a business back in Jamaica. And his father wants him to come and take care, help him with the business and stuff. And once he get him on his feet or whatever, then he can leave. We gonna come back, and he said he's gonna get a house and stuff like that. Mommy said that sounds real good. She said that sounds real good, Sharon. Sounds real good. But you ain't going nowhere. He can go on and do what he got to do and come back, get that house, and then get you, and then y'all can start your family. She said, but I said, okay. So I said, well, he want to talk to you. And she said, and she had a way of going, That's probably where I got that from. Because she had a way of, when she would go, that's her decision. She done made her decision, whatever it is. It'd be like, oh, Mommy, can I have some food? Oh, well, you done ate already. I know, but I'm still hungry. I'd be like, yeah, right. You want to go in there and make a mess in my kitchen? I don't think so. Her was like the final word of her mind. And when she went I knew what the answer was. I knew what she was thinking. So when I told her, I said, he gonna come back and, he gonna get a house. She's like, he can go and get his house. I mean, he can go on and do what he got to do with his father. That's what he should do. Take care of his father, do what his father want done. He said, but you ain't going with him. He said, no, Sharon. He said, if it was somewhere in the States, no problem. I'll let you go. Because I was already finished school, because I'm going to night school. So it wasn't nothing about, you got to finish school and you got to go to college. All that wasn't talk about, So, he called and he talked to my grandmother. And he explained the situation to my grandmother. My grandmother said, okay, well, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Cedric. She respected him. She called him Mr. Cedric. Mr. Cedric, but I don't really think it's a good idea for my granddaughter Sharon to go so far away with you. And she was asking, do you love her? If she was to go with you, would you take care of her? What is your plans? How is she supposed to get there? He said, I'll pay for everything, Miss Wilson. He said, you don't have to pull out no money. He said, my family is very wealthy, so you don't have to worry about nothing. So I would definitely take care of you and take care of her. And I will bring her back to you, not safe and sound. And I will be sending you money while I'm away. And he was going to send some money. I think the plans was for him to send to take care of the child. But I think my grandmother told him that something she told him. And we decided, you ain't got to send no money, whatever. And I saw him. The last time I saw him was when we talked, and he told me he was leaving. The last time I heard from him was when we was on that phone, and and I said, here we go again. What is going on with these nice school gentlemen? And he heard it in my voice. He said, don't cry. He said, I'll be back for you. I'll come back for you. What was he coming back for? Is them type of cultures, I'm presuming that they prearrange marriage and stuff like that. So who's to say once he got back there, he probably never got a chance to get back to America. And just think about it, when I wouldn't have got a chance, I wouldn't have got back neither. So I never saw him no more. I know you're wondering what happened to the baby. I didn't have the baby. I'll tell that story another time. And we'll go into the spiritual aspect of it. All right, so that's that story. So I don't know what I'm going to title this video. Well, that's my first pregnancy, my first crush and pregnancy. Right? My first crush that I had, my first crush that someone had on me, and my pregnancy. That would be the name. Because that actually Cedric had a crush on me. Because when we would lie up in the bed and he would talk with me, that's what he would tell me. He said, you know what? I was trying all kinds of things to get your attention. He said, why is you so hard to get through to? You don't pay. You just come to the class and that's what you do. You come to class to learn, and as soon as you get dismissed, you're gone. He said, do you know how long I wanted to talk to you? And that's when I knew that he was paying attention to the other guy, Maurice. Because he said, you know how long I wanted to talk to you? He said, but I knew you was interested in that other dude. And Maurice knew his name. I said, really? He said, yeah, I knew. He said, and I was so mad and jealous. He said, and that's why I would throw little darts at him. Not physical darts, like that guy darts at him. And I will always yell, I say, there's a seat over here. He said he will always talk about him and his light skin. Now, they both was light skinned. He was light skinned. So Cedric was like, he was short by my height. And what's name was tall. Maurice was tall. And he was like, he always talk about his seat over here. A seat over here. And sometimes he would save the seat for you. That's when I found out that Maurice did save seats for me. He said, but when you would come in, somebody would come in just before you and take the seat. So you will get that seat in front. He said, and you know what? I will always try to hold the seat. I said, I'm going to hold this seat. So when she come in, I got the seat for her. So that's why every time you would come in, and I said, really? He said, that's why when you would come in, I'd be like, there's a seat over here. He said, ball again. He said, that's why I would say, there's a seat over here. And you would just look at me and look somewhere else, trying to get all up sitting next to the other man. I said, Dad, you really was paying attention. He said, yes, I was. He said, I was paying attention. I was very jealous. He said, I want you to sit with me. He said, but that day that you walked in and he wasn't there, them days that they would come, because I started to slow up too from night school. After Maurice wasn't coming, I slowed up a bit. Oh, to get that cleared up, I didn't graduate. I didn't complete my credit, so I was unable to graduate. I didn't graduate with the class. My guidance counselor told me I could graduate with the class, but I would have to, after graduation, still go back and take up them classes, and then I'll be able to get my diploma. So I was like, you mean to tell me I'm going to come and I'm going to graduate with the people? And at that time, when I was graduating, they actually gave you your diploma. Now you got to, I think now they would send it in the mail, or who knows, they probably send it digital now. But I know my grandsons got it, in hand. He said, you wouldn't give me the time of day. Boy, he said, you don't know how glad I was when Maurice didn't show up no more. I would go to class dreading him coming. Because everybody really liked him, Maurice. Because Maurice was, I guess it was his demeanor and his stature and all that stuff. He said, you was just right along with the other girls. And nobody wanted to pay me no mind because I was all loud and rowdy. I said, yeah, why you have to be so loud? He said, because I was trying to get your attention. He said, I ain't worried about nobody else. I was trying to get your attention. I said, well, you got my attention, but you just got it the wrong way. I said, you see how you quiet down and you got my attention? He said, yeah, no. He said, you don't like no loud, rowdy guy. I said, no, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do it. Did I do it? Half the time, you didn't even know I was in the class because I was always quiet. Teacher had to pull teeth to get me to say something. But when I started, they couldn't shut me up. All right, I'm getting tired now. All right, so that is the story of my crushes and my pregnancy. I'll tell y'all the pregnancy story after the fact. I don't think I ever told it. Y'all don't know that much about it. Y'all don't know my teenage years too much, right? Y'all probably heard of my abuse and stuff like that. But as far as my teenage years and me going to school and having fun and you know, doing what teenagers do, you know, in the spiritual side of it. Y'all don't know, but I'll tell you that. Y'all have a blessed night.